Right, we're standing today. Welcome to today's video. We're going to be simplifying the hell out of this self-improvement, self-help space because there's too much noise, there's too much chaos. You know, let's simplify and start experimenting with some ideas, mental models. Let's get to it. So, right, I'm Connor Forsyth. I have not posted a video in a while because I've been doing my degree. I'm finishing off my degree. Exams next month, revising at the moment. But this was just on my mind and I really wanted to get this out as a video. So, first thing, self-improvement. What is it? I mean, as like a grand simplification, it's trying to be your best. So doing things that help you be your best in your day-to-day activity. So it'll be in like work, you want to perform your best, you want to be the most productive, you want to have really good output, be competent. Right, in sort of love, you want to have great relationships, you want to be good at networking and build strong relationships. And in like your energy, you want to be energetic, you want to be, intense. You want to have the energy to communicate to people and the energy to do your work, right? And so there's subsections and subsections on these and different ways of thinking about it. But effectively, that is it as a simplification. And self-improvement, so once you've improved yourself, what happens? Well, your environment, your output, your relationships all improve. Therefore, your life improves. Therefore, you get the material success, the relationship success, right? Success is like kind of a crude word, but you improve yourself, you improve other people's lives around you, and it can be quite a noble pursuit if you look at it in an altruistic way, where you want to better yourself to try and make the world a better place and leave it, because we are going to leave it a better place when you go. Okay? And so there's like this idea of doing the greatest amount of good to the greatest amount of people and sort of actualizing your potential and seeing how much good you can really do. See how far we can take this. And you don't have to do it to like the extreme or the infinite, but there is this pull, this desire to continually want to improve. And the adaptation of once you get somewhere, you're like, all right, what's next? You'll get used to wherever you are right now, and you'll get complacent. You might lose gratitude for it, and you'll be like, all right, how can I improve? And there's certain aspects that I want to get better at. And so self-improvement is just like innately human thing. Humans want to like expand. They want to have influence, right? They want to get better. They want to improve. And that's how everything as a collective, we've got this far. We have technology, we have innovation, we have the science that we do. We have the self-improvement tools and mental models and ideas and knowledge at our fingertips. It is crazy how far this whole pursuit of wanting to get better and almost eternal dissatisfaction with where we are. Because dissatisfaction, it leads to fulfillment if you can be of value, if you can be competent in your tribe. If you imagine it like that, like our evolutionary psychology is like we're social creatures, we therefore have social desires to want to improve. All right, so introduction over. I'm sure you got the idea of self-improvement, self-help on like a high level, right? Let's get into some actual ideas now, okay? We're going to be going counter to what a lot of the self-improvement, gurus, people say on like actions like that you have to do. Like there's no dogma, there's no religion, there's no rules, there's no cult, there's no nothing, right? So there's this like holistic mentality there's this, you need to do these things or you are not worthy, you are a sinner. You know, there's these all sorts of things to like actualizing your potential, but really it comes down to like, what do you want? Well, what's the best version of you look like? How can you be your best today? How can you be your best in the future? Like, and this ideal should be paired with the good you can do to others. It can be paired with, you know, your output and the great audacious goals you set for yourself and what you want to accomplish. You know, it can really be up to you, and that's your own personal discovery of your purpose and your priorities. And once you have like your purpose, your priorities, you'll be drawn to certain activities, certain habits, certain productivity measures. You know, you'll be able to do your deep work, you'll be able to get into your flow states, you'll be able to have productive output. Those things come, like you'll start meditating, you'll start doing different things, right? And you sort of want to like work back from what life do I want? What life do I want for the people around me? Who do I want to provide for? And really having that, and then being like, right, what can I do now to become more like that person? What ways of thinking, and this is very important, ways of thinking does this better version of me have? And you have to understand that you would already be there if you thought like that person. And maybe there's time as a factor, and maybe if you stayed exactly as the same person, you would progress. But we're not going to leave it to chance. We're going to try and continually optimize, because if you're not trying to get better, there's you're subject to entropy, which is a physical law where you will deteriorate effectively over time. You know, energy, information will be dissipating. You know, if you're not growing, you're dying. It's like a common thing in like the startup and entrepreneurship journey sort of side, and it's true for self-improvement. You know, you want to get here, and we don't want to leave it to chance. We want to do our best. And so now we know there's like ways of thinking that we can change. We can change how we think. We can expose ourselves to different inputs. And this is where it starts. It starts like, all right, this is like some sort of meta wisdom where you were like, right, so I need to stop consuming these inputs, start consuming these inputs, and I will start to think in a way more aligned with what the ways I want to think. And Seneca had like a really great thing on reading, was just like, it will be like a shame, it's along these lines, it will be like a shame if I did not learn from the previous, you know, men that have labored hard for these discoveries, you know. So you want to read these lives of these incredible people that have faced challenges far beyond what you have experienced, and you can learn and consume and gather like mental models, which we'll get into in a second. And this is all great and good, and these inputs will affect your ability to regulate your physical state, your emotional state, your mental state, your spiritual state. You know, your inputs will affect your state by how you can manage them and how you can, you know, improve. How you can help yourself. You know, self-compassion, it comes under the same umbrella, you know. And you know, discovering what you want and working back is sometimes hard. You know, it's like, what do I love doing? What's my purpose? And like discovery and delving into some form of chaos is sometimes the only way to realize what you want. And you have to be able to deliberately practice. You have to be able to act despite fear, which is courage. And you have to start learning, which means failing, by the way. So you have to start failing to learn. And the quicker you fail, the quicker you'll learn. And then, so once we've got this ideal and we start failing rapidly, you'll start to realize you acquire these mental models, these ways of thinking, and in different contexts they'll apply. And I think it was Charlie Munger that said, like, you'll have a lattice work of mental models. So you have mental models, and it will make thinking less cost. You'll start to, the chaos will become ordered in your brain, and the brain that is your function. Imagine it's a function. I know I'm orientated in this way as a computer scientist, but it's a function, and you'll be able to use different mental models for inputs, and you'll be able to make more instinctual, intuitive decisions based off these mental models. But it's not just like acquiring them. That is like the main thing, right? You want to refine this lattice work. Like, if you're not using mental models in there, you need to either try and experiment with them, use them, or get rid of them, or modify them. And this can be hard because you sometimes gain it from someone that you admire. It will be some mentor or digital mentor that you have online, and they've told you this way of thinking is it. But then you try it and it doesn't work. You try this new way of thinking, this new way of being, and it doesn't work. You have to discard it or modify it or try and find a variation that works, because there's lots of fundamental truths that you'll come by experimenting with these wisdom mental models that you can find everywhere. And I believe everyone has their own way of thinking about this, and maybe they'll store them in different ways. It will be, words, visuals, even for me it's like data structures, functions, and systems even. So you can start developing systems of interconnected mental models that apply throughout. And I think there is also like an opportunity to merge mental models, and this will be probably the biggest thing, where you've really like done lots of work on a singular topic, and you've struggled for a long time, and something just clicks, and you're like, right, this like fundamentally is like you abstract out, you've done lots of hard work, you've spent years working on something, years working with the tool, years working with your hands, building something, programming something. Really any sort of work that you're passionate and in flow about, you'll end up abstracting out different ideas and be like, right. And then you'll go on to something else, you'll move on to something else and go like, all right, I've done a lot of work and experienced a lot and abstracted out this like fundamental truth from my work, my experience, and this other wisdom and inputs I've had, and it applies to this context. It just like needs a different context, a different way of wording it, right? And this becomes incredibly valuable. So you realize that through specification, through like depth of action, you'll get this breadth of generalization. You'll get this breadth of like, oh, okay, I've specialized in one thing, I've abstracted out an idea, a concept, a mental model, a framework, and it applies to different things. And this pattern recognition is super helpful, right? And yeah, this sort of takes it back to self-improvement and what many others are trying to say, which is, you have to experience life. You have to use these mental models. You can't just try one habit, implement it, and become a different person. You have to have a clear picture of where you want to go. You have to like map out some sort of route, and it's not easy. Improving your physical state, your mental state, your emotional state, these are constant challenges. Like, nothing is permanent. Everything is transitory. it changes. Your health changes. You will experience challenges unforeseen. Your environment will be challenging. You'll face challenges on a regular basis, but this is what life is about. You know, you're not here to not face challenges. And if you are, I'm sorry. But I've definitely come to terms with there's always going to be a problem. And that's great because I like solving problems. Okay? And like I said, this is all applicable. I'm going to be putting together a group where we can create some order, experiment with these different mental models. We'll have some Q&A calls. I'll be making a course. Link for this will be in the description if you want to sign up. It will just be a form at the moment. And yeah, peace. You know, I want you guys to be able to do the work you got to do, love you got to do, and just cut through a lot of this bull. You know, there's a lot of noise out there, and hopefully we can, you know, create some signal. Peace.